Howdy folks, good noontime. How are we all doing today? It is Wednesday, August 11th, 2021. I'm over checking out a well-known popular site that is found in Sarasota. So we're up at a place known as the Celery Fields up by Sarasota, Florida. So Celery Fields, you might be wondering, how does it really get its name? Well, there's a bit of history that's associated with this place. You figure you go back to the Pleistocene epoch, in geologic time, which was shortly after the Cretaceous period, so you figure anywhere between, like 50 to 25 million years ago. I don't remember exactly how many years. Or, actually, no, it would be less than that. Because the Pleistocene was during the Ice Age. Okay, I had to remind myself, so that would be within 30 to 15,000 years ago. Excuse me. I had to correct myself there. But back on that subject, when the Ice Age was here, there was a large lake that was situated at this place. And thus this place has been known to actually find several fossils that came from creatures such as the mammoths. Yes, they actually did indeed wander down here back in the day when the climate was much different. So as it got into the early 1900s, the whole area that is here was drained out, essentially, because what was once here was a whole wetland and lake system. But then it was drained mostly for agricultural use. But then eventually, as it got into the later 1900s, it was reclaimed again by the county. And what's actually particularly fascinating is when it was used for agriculture, it was found that this whole mound here was used to grow and cultivate celery. One of our most famous cash crops during that time. Because as you can see, just looking at the hill, in a sense, it kind of gives that agricultural feel. Even though this place has not been used to cultivate celery for several decades, but yet the name still stuck. So then eventually, as it was reclaimed by the county, one of the main goals here was to restore what was lost. Sort of like a way of forgiving the sin that occurred by draining the water that was naturally here. Because you have to think, I've mentioned this in past videos before, we all live on top of a watershed. And for those of you who don't know what a watershed is, it basically describes a body of water that is underground. And especially in Florida, watersheds are very popular. So essentially, the goal was to restore the water that was once taken away in order to create the natural habitat that was once here. And basically, as soon as the water returned, as we see, the diversity returned in terms of mammals, birds, reptiles, and even insects. So from what I've noticed so far, I have seen a couple of great blue herons out here, especially. And yes, they do indeed travel this far south, even though I've seen them as far north as that of Ohio. But just look at that layout, It's gorgeous. And it's my very first time ever visiting this place. It's a neat spot. That's all I have to say. It is a little toasty too. But just, you know, looking up here, it just gives you a bit of a reminder that development has been so rapid. It kind of gives a glimpse of the human condition, you know, in terms of how the water is used and just how much of the natural habitat of Florida is dwindling. And that's why places like Celery Fields, it's designed to help restore that natural habitat. Because it's crazy to think about, you know, if there weren't any natural organizations involved in restoration whatsoever, this probably wouldn't exist anymore. This would all be completely developed. Crazy, isn't it? It's crazy how in one state such as Florida, so many people moved down here for its natural beauty. But yet, that natural beauty, some of it has to be sacrificed in order for them to live down here. Isn't that kind of ironic? Don't you think? As Alanis Morissette would always say. But that's the point. You know, this is a protected preserve in which no one can interfere with what is found here. That sounds like a catbird. But that's another thing too that's found here is the butterflies. So you can see right here, I believe we've got ourselves a viceroy, which is essentially another type of monarch butterfly. That's what Celery Fields is also very well known for, are the butterflies. But yeah, it's been a controversy up here. You know, just the development and like, especially the algal bloom that's happening right now with the red tide. Yeah. It's neat. It looks like down here we've got some Florida pusely. There we go, there's another butterfly. But that's the point I'm trying to make, you guys, is, you know, with rapid development, we're losing more of this natural beauty. And yet, many people move down here because of the natural beauty. And especially our water here. It's not always very valued. So, alright you guys. Thought I would share that with you guys. Hope you learned something out of this video. I know I covered quite a bit of different topics, but as always in my video, I try to make a point on something, you know, interpretation. So, hope you guys enjoy your Wednesday, and Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks.